Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel here. It's the Mac, and welcome back to the continuation here of the Renaissance Wargame Design Studio Musket and Pike series game. So I already made a showcase of it, and like sort of an introductory video of the game content, and yeah, basically just sort of a basic overview of the game, showing what actually comes with it. So this is going to be a little more special Let's Play. I'm actually going to be doing a PBEM game with a recent discovery, actually. I was contacted by a guy from the Wargaming Society, it's called. It's a online gaming club, basically, which you apply for and get a profile, and they cover a lot of games. I think actually we should check out the webpage. I'm going to link it in the description of the video later on. But yeah, the Wargame Society, man. So they have a lot of John Tiller games here and other games, and as you can see, they cover everything from the Ancient up to World War II and beyond. So they are sort of branching out now and doing some getting their way onto YouTube and stuff, and promoting their gaming club. So I advise all you people who are don't have a gaming club or are curious of this place, go there and apply and see if you get in there and meet some new and exciting players. So I'm actually going to duke it out with somebody from the club there that has that actually also is starting up and working a YouTube channel for the Wargame Society. So I'll link that in my description as well, so you guys can have a look at there. There's probably going to be tons of exciting gameplay going on there in the future. So do check it out. I'm going to link that. I'm going to put that in the description of the video, so you can have an easy link to click on there. Yeah, so this is going to be sort of a different recording sessions, because we talked a bit about how we're going to be doing this, because it's going to be PBEM game. I've actually recorded PBEM games before, and I sort of cut and paste them together to make them sort of videos of 30 to 40 minutes long, and it's sort of there's just sort of like breaks in the video, and then the next turn starts, basically. That is when you play a turn-based. We're going to be playing phased play, which I've actually talked about in my first video of this game. That is actually the best way to experience this game. As I went over in the first video there, how that is actually divided into a movement phase, a defensive fire phase, an offensive fire phase, and melee phase. The enemy gets to move, and I get to defense fire, he gets to offense fire, he gets to melee, and then it all starts all over again, sort of turn 2. So there's a lot of segments, but it really adds a lot of flavor and strategy to the game. It's a lot deeper strategy than actually just moving, shooting, and attacking. You have to really plan ahead, and it's going to be tough. It's usually quite easy versus the computer, the AI, but versus human player, it's a different ball game altogether. And I'm not that experienced in this yet. I mean, I've just started to play it a bit, but I have no idea. My opponent might be a badass, and he's just going to run me over. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, we actually decided upon to play scenario number 100. It's called Kokenhausen. And that's because it's actually Swedes in here, man, and I'm Swedish, so yeah, why not give it a crack in my old ancestors, so to speak. See how that goes. And he's going to be doing the Polish Lithuanians in this particular conflict. So the Kokenhausen battle, the 23rd of June, 1601. So the Swedish army under Gyllenhelm have adopted a strong defensive position, with one flank resting on the Dwina River and the other protected by a dense forest and wagons. In the center, the Swedes have had time to strengthen a ruined farm, so it'd be tougher for the enemy cavalry to overrun their guns and infantry. The Poles and allied Lithuanians will have a difficult time assaulting this position. Side A is Swedes and side B is Poles. And yeah, so we're doing a PBM, so we got to go into the play by email, and I got to open the file, and we'll see what happens. So it looks like the Polish and Lithuanians actually had the first crack in this fight, so let's see what happens. Alright, so I get to see him moving there. Yeah, so I'm going to talk a bit about this battle, actually. So, yeah, you guys will wonder what the hell this conflict is. It's actually a conflict between Sweden and the Polish and Lithuanians state in those times, 1601 there. It actually started earlier, because in the beginning there was the Swedish leader or king at the time was married, got a child from the Polish and Lithuanians, and that, I think that guy was called King Sigmund, and he so there was a bond within the countries there, and he was sort of a ruler as well over Sweden for a small time there. He was sort of the overall, and of course that is a problem. It's you know, there's going to be a conflict going on there, and there's lots of things there, because the Swedes were opposed. There was also the Protestants and the Catholics, and the Polish and the Lithuanians were Catholics, and the Swedes were Protestants. So that was one sort of thing that played a part. And then there was like an uproar in Sweden. Let me see if I can remember his name. Charles, I think it was Charles. He was the Duke of Södermanland. It's like an area in Sweden, and so he was sort of the protagonist there from Sweden. And there was wars. Sigmund tried to invade and sort of subdue Sweden to you know his rule. But there was like battles going on. We're going actually pretty bad for Sweden there. It lost a lot of battles there, and the Polish and the Lithuanian army was actually superior in many regards at the time. But then I can't remember why, but he went back to Poland, and the uprising started again. And then this Duke Sigmund, no, not Sigmund. No, there's a lot to keep track of in the Renaissance, man. Yeah. Charles, this guy, the Duke of Södermanland, he actually became Charles the IX later on. He was the king of Sweden later on, and he actually struck first in the second part of this conflict, and he attacked Poland and Lithuania there, because they had a little area in the north there, in Estonia, it's today, and the Swedes were actually they held that territory there. So they went in there and they wanted to, you know, fight King Sigmund there. And in the start of the campaign, it actually went pretty well. But then the Swedish hadn't actually stumbled upon the badass army of the Polish. They only fought like small garrisons and stuff, and they thought it was really easy. But then Sigmund had his allies he had some allies that came in there with a big army, and they sort of really beat the shit out of the Swedes. They were losing big time. And this particular battle, the Kokenhausen one, it's kind of an early battle in the campaign here, because what I'm going to be playing here is the Swedish relief force of Gyllenhelm. He came down with a detachment because the Swedes were actually laying siege to a city that I can't remember now, that is right off the map basically. And this relief force that came in, the Swedes, were counterattacked by this Polish-Lithuanian force. They sort of attacked, and yeah, it's end of battle replay. Yeah, all right. We have the okay. So now he started, so he had his movement feint. Now I get my defensive fire phase, which is going to be nothing probably because I have nothing that can reach him. But let's examine the battlefield a bit here. Right. So here we get the enemy, and here's my army here. Okay. It's not a huge force. Oh yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so we have. Yeah. By the way, I actually forgot my gaming buddy here that I'm playing this battle with. He actually gave me. He modified the flags. The flags are all wrong here, by the way. I think that's an English flag, and that's a Swiss flag, and that's a French flag. Not really what we're doing here, but. I might actually change that for my next video there, because yeah, when you check his parts out, you're going to see he's got different flags there. Anyways, right, so it looks like they are attacking first here, and right off the bat, the Swedes actually lost this battle, and I'll tell you why. The Polish had some pretty badass cavalry called the Winged Hussars, and this sort of legendary cavalry that was sort of dominating the battlefield for a long time. And they were like real badass. They sort of remind of the French gendarmes. They had like beautiful ornamented polished armor. They had these since they're called Winged Hussars, they sort of had these feathers or wings attached to their backs. At least that's what the legend says. And they were like really badass. They were lanced heavy cavalry. They charged in, man. They remind a lot of the gendarmes of the French. But later on they evolved as well. They also had pistols and stuff. But right at the beginning they were like lanced the cavalry here. Now since we have fog of war, and I will not be able to tell who's who here. But as you can see, this is going to be cavalry slugfest. And my army, the Swedes, see, there's not much infantry here. I mean, we're going to check out these. So here we have the man of the hour. We have Gyllenhelm. He's my main man there. So you could check. I just pressed the wrong button there. I'm just going to go for command range. Yeah, so he's got some pretty badass command range. He's the main commander. So he's got command B and leadership D. B's good. D, I guess it's slightly below average there. So he's my main man. We have a wagon of supplies. And here at this ruined farm that we made sort of a strong point here, we got some skirmishers with muskets. They have range 4, so it's pretty good guns there. So they're skirmishers, and they're probably part of this, yeah. So they're detached from this unit here, because the way you can tell that is the 25%. That's the main unit, and these guys are part of that. I guess all these are. Yeah, they're all part of the same formation here. So all these skirmish units are actually part of this unit here. So they sort of divided there as skirmishers behind a hedge, and that should be probably a wall there, yeah. All right, what else we got? We got cannons. We have sakers. Those are those sort of, they're range 14. I think they're sort of classed as light, medium artillery, basically. Range 14 there. Morale C. We have another leader here. He's just called Colonel. He's really lousy. He's got E and E there, so he's in charge of these units here. We also have a guard unit here with halberdiers. They can block, so that means they can form that square to fend off cavalry and stuff. We have 3 more guns. These are culverines, so these are heavy guns. They have range 18. And so they're good. And we have 425 men here, actually. Pikemen here. They got good armor, but no bonuses to melee or anything, and they can also form a square and fend off cavalry and stuff. So that's what we got. On our would-be right flank, we have cavalry. Yeah, so this cavalry that actually came to this fight, well, wasn't that well trained, actually. They were, I think this contingent on the left, this would be the left flank, were actually cavalry from Finland, and they were not that great. Nor were the Swedish ones. They were pretty lousy. See, you can see here they got quality D. Okay, this unit has C, and this one has C, and we have B actually. Okay, they're not that bad. And D, and we have some dragoons in the back there. D, C, and D. Okay, so these are slightly worse, yeah. C quality for my heavy cavalry there. And these guys are what? Light horse, left wing. Oh, it actually says there, left wing. Alright, and we have dragoons there as well. So this looks like my right flank is actually slightly on the edge there. So the story of the battle was that now that the Polish actually started to attack the flanks with cavalry, and it actually went well in the beginning for the Swedes. They were actually, on top of things. Because they were actually outnumbering the Polish here. We're going to have a look at numbers as well. Look at this, 350 horses here, man. It's nuts. 400 there, 350. So lots of horses here. I would assume, I don't think the Polish are, see there's 100 there. I can just tell that there's between 100 and 199 horses here. So they're slightly smaller. Here's one only with 70, 80. Yeah, so some are small and some are big. They're 100 plus there, but our big chunks, you know, 350 guys. So they actually went well in the beginning, but when the winged hussars actually came into play, they sort of beat the shit out of it. They just ran over the Swedish cavalry and the Finnish cavalry. And once the cavalry had retreated off the field of battle, they had an easy to deal with this contingent here. They were taken care of as well. So Gyllenhammar actually had to retreat. So that's how the story goes. Yeah, we have the river here. All right, so I got a fire phase. There's not much I can do. I have no idea what the enemy, which is what here, because these pictures, you know, there hasn't been an update for the Renaissance for a long time, but it's going to be coming soon from, as we've heard from Wargame Design Studio, the latest news there. They're going to be doing huge upgrades for these games, the 7 Years' War and the Renaissance, and they are planning to release that the Great Northern War. It's going to come out as well. That's going to be really exciting to play. And in that phase, they are going to improve the graphics a lot. They're going to implement all that shit they have for, you know, Napoleonic games and all them goodies. So there's going to be some really good graphics, and I would assume they would update these pictures as well, because some of them are actually, you know, pretty old. Right, so yeah, so I got fire phase. There's nothing I can do. I mean, these guns will not reach him. We can only use the Sakers at the moment as well. They're over here, so yeah, he's way out of range, and we cannot fire with any guns or anything now. So this is just going to be an end turn basically. But I just want to go through the units a bit, so I don't have to do that in the next video there. So we got light horse, right wing. They're cavalry with pistols. Yeah, so these guys, and they have swords, of course, and stuff. So but they're light cavalry, so they're basically not so good to put them up against heavy lancers and stuff. They would get thrashed basically. But they're good for harassing, and since there's so many of them, if you ride up and fire and stuff, they'll cause some damage. And the best part is probably not to use fire at all once you attack, because then you get a bonus. That would add a lot if they charge into a contingent of horses and fire their pistols at point blank and attack with swords and stuff. They would be pretty devastating there. But I think everything's the same here. So these guys are a bit better. They're quality C, so they have armor and melee bonuses. So these guys are more, you know, hand-to-hand proficient. And so are they. There are also some bonuses there. The heavy cavalry, though, these are my best guys here. They have a colonel there as well. Quality B there. So they are heavy cavalry here. They have good armor, good melee, and pistols as well. So that's pretty good. What else we got here? Yeah, so they are sort of basic. Dragoons, these guys are good. They're definitely not any sort of cavalry versus cavalry unit. They could be used to maybe run down routed units and stuff, but they will get slaughtered if they attack anyone that are meant to be fighting in melee. So they sort of dismount, and they can fire their muskets and stuff. So they're pretty good. Definitely going to have to use them on his heavy cavalry, I think. And we have probably the same setup here, yeah. So they have pistols, armor and stuff here. Yeah, they're the same, but there's worse quality here. And the knights, they have only a melee 1. What do these guys have? Melee 2. Yeah, they're better. And we have some more dragoons here. All right, so that's about it. That's all I can do with this. So I'm going to end it here. And I'm probably going to chop this video up and add blank screens showing the different phases. So the defensive fire phase, there's none of that. So I have to end my turn now and then send it to my opponent there. So I want to thank you for watching here, and we'll get back to you in the next phase. Have a good one. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's the Mac here, and we're about to enter the next phase of turn 1. Let's see what the enemy was up to. Nothing. He had a short face too. He had an offensive fire face, and there was nothing for him to shoot at there. Okay. All right. We got movement. Now it's time to get serious. All right. Right, so we're back here at Wargame Design Studio game here, the Renaissance, playing the PBEM game. And, right, so I'm going to pick up from the last video there. I did a lot of talking about the battle and the forces and all that. We're going to skip that now. We're just going to go straight into some serious gameplay and strategy talk, I guess. Right. If you guys watched the first part, you will see that I actually implemented that nice little mod that my gaming buddy, the one my opponent I'm playing against, have made himself. So now we have a Swedish flag here. I think these are Serbian flags. Kingdom of Serbia, maybe? Could it be Polish? Okay, I'm gonna have to look up, read up on that. But one thing I know, though, well, at least I think I know. Actually, no, this is the Polish, I think. But there's something. I think these winged hussars are actually that they were actually knights from the Kingdom of Serbia, if I'm not correct. I'm gonna have to look that up, or correct me in the comments later on. But I think that could be the case. Anyways, get back to the battle here. Right, so we already talked about what happened historically. It looks like my opponent is just charging here. He's going for the attack. I was sort of feeling that maybe I was going to go for a surprise attack, but he's moving out. He's got his old cavalry here. It's going to be a big cavalry slugfest. There's very little infantry in this battle. So, if we look at these guys here, they're different color, and they have that flag there. I think these guys, these badasses here, I think they're probably all winged hussars. They probably are. So that's going to be tough to crack those guys. Right, what to do? So I have a movement phase, so now I can move my troops around. And we've got no leaders. The leader is here. See if I remember the correct button. Yeah, so hotkey K is for command radius there. Right, so right off the bat, those guys are out of command and all that, so that's not good. But I think I need to keep my formations quite tight together here because, as you can see, my leaders are not the best. They have very low command range, and that's very crucial when it comes to rallying and getting units out of disruption and stuff. Right, so what's the plan here? He's moving in. Right, we do have our guns. What is the visibility of these guns? Okay. Alright, we got good field of vision in the centers. We shouldn't block our guns in the center. I think we should sort of form up a battle line and wait where he attacks and then converge on him, I think. Another thing I didn't check actually in the first part was the victory conditions, which is like really crucial. Right, so we have 25 points. That objective is only worth 25 points. I did notice they have an exit hex here, which means if he exits his troops, he gets lots of victory points for that. So I gotta stop him from doing that. He could just ride past me, maybe outmaneuver me and just get his forces past. You'd probably get a major victory there. But I do think the meat of the points in this particular battle is actually causing casualties to the enemy and destroying each other's forces. That is that's actually what happened historically, and that's probably what we're going to be aiming for here if we can do it. All right, let's see. So I think I want to maybe cause some sort of diagonal battle line here that is going to be ready to charge down. I'll do the same here, I think, a bit. And I'll wait how he goes. I mean, he's coming from many sides here. But these guys should probably line up in some sort of formation, waiting for a good opportunity to charge the enemy. So I want to lead with my heavy cavalry. I want to have them in the front, charging in, guns blazing. They got pistols. And the dragoons I'm going to be using as a sort of flank defense. That's actually what they were used to as well during the real tactics. They were sort of really fast maneuverable men on horseback with these muskets or arquebus. And so they could move around and sort of protect my flanks to fire on the enemy there. Let's see. Maybe I should... Yeah, it's going to be tough, this. Or maybe sort of form a wedge formation. for the glorious charge. Even though we are facing superior troops, we do have... This is to our advantage, these big chunks of soldiers. We have a lot of men in each of these. I don't think you can actually split these up, except if you have skirmish and stuff. No, you can't. You can't like sort of divide them up into smaller detachments because they're not skirmish troops. They have to be these light forces here. All right. Let's see. So I want to keep my formation tight here. Let's see if I move some horses. So like that. And they might be facing that direction. See, how far can my heavy cavalry move? Let's see. They probably cannot move that fast. Okay, I put them here. And I do have enough to turn them. And those are my good guys. They have armor bonuses and stuff. These sort of weaker guys could be here, maybe. Not sure I'm doing good here. These guys are pretty badass as well. They could stay here. And this is a weak group. They could still be here, probably facing forward, I would think. And the dragoons are a bit... I'm going to put them sort of in the back here. Where's my leader? Here he is. Let's see what his command range. I said they're all within command range now. I think we should just... Yeah, another thing, we don't have the no detached melee enabled here, which means that if your units are out of command, they're not able to melee, and someone actually has to order them to attack. Otherwise, they'll just sort of be idle. I find that kind of unrealistic. I mean, a unit would probably take some. I mean, if they were threatened by somebody charging them and stuff, or they would see an opportunity that. I mean, they probably would act in accordance to deal with that situation. I would think so, but I do understand the mechanics though of command and control and stuff. So if I have a line, maybe I should just do a straight battle line here. So these guys are, which are my best forces? They're in the center there. That's good. Let's just move them a bit forward like that. Let's get these heavy cavalry like that. Those guys there. I wonder if you can see me if I sort of hide one unit down here. That means we're going to have to charge in an upslope. It might not be good, but we'll put one unit here. We're actually quite hidden there. That could be to our advantage. What's this? These guys are pretty good. Let's see this guy's command range. It's pretty bad. Let's get these horses up here. Let's get the dragoons ready to sort of cover whatever they're going to be covering. Yeah, something like that. I don't have much to maneuver with. I do have my skirmishers. They need to guard this objective, I think. Sort of stay here and shoot. Now, I do have a big group of pikemen here. I mean, I could use them. Utilize this group. I mean, these 50 guys in the... these halberdiers, they should definitely just guard the guns. They're basically guarding the guns. It would not be wise to leave them unguarded. You could easily overrun them with cavalry. So I probably will wait. Their movement is real lousy. I can change their formation though and keep them. Could move that infantry out. Decision. Okay, Gyllenhelm, my main man. I think he should move forward a bit. I think he should sort of... What do we got? We have a leader here. We do have a guy here. He's in charge of that. Yeah, okay. Gyllenhelm he's a pretty good commander. I probably will keep him a bit closer to the action. I'm getting his horse down here somewhere. Okay, they're just within command range there. What's his movement? He only has 6 left. Maybe I should have put him here. I'll leave him here for now. Let's just see what happens there. Supplies. Let's just get them a bit closer to the action there. All right. Yeah, so I'm not really sure yet. We'll see what happens. He's too far away to really know what he's going for here, how he divides his forces and stuff. So I'm just gonna hang on like this. I think I'm fine with this. And we're gonna have this phase here. I don't think we have anything coming in. This is all we got. All right, so I'm gonna end it. Yes, and then we go. So we're gonna be seeing in the. It's gonna be fire phases, and there's not much gonna be happening, I think. So I'll see you in the next phase. Have a good one. Hello, welcome back to the next phase of the battle. Playing Kokenhausen. Let's see what my enemy's been up to now. We should be moving into his movement phase. That's right. End of battle replay, right? So it's pretty fast. Okay, he's out of sight. What happened? He just disappeared. Okay, let's see. We are at turn 2 now. Offensive fire phase. So it's my turn to fire at him as he's advancing towards me here. None of my guns can fire there. It sort of disappeared from there. We do have visibility here though. But maybe he pulled back. He could have pulled back into my dead zone. But we do have... Okay, those guys can't see much. I might actually have to move something up to scout my flanks. I might actually... Okay, so I can't move now anyways because it's the fire phase, but... Okay, so he sort of disappeared there. Don't know what he's doing. We'll see what happens in the next... Let's actually have a look at... I haven't actually checked the weather forecast either. It's clear. Unchanged. Alright, so it's going to be a clear sunny day of brutal death and destruction. Alright, so I'm just going to end this phase here and we're going to pick up the next in the next phase. So have a good one. Hello, welcome back again. Actually shouldn't have cut the video there because it's right after my defensive phase there is a melee phase. Since I did movement, he got fire, then I got fire, and now it is melee. And turn 2 melee, there's nothing to melee, so we're just gonna end it here, and we'll be back in the next phase. Have a good one.